Alright guys, so we're back with another video, and I'm going to show you guys how to create a simple skip command. Let me go ahead and just copy my leave channel, and we're going to just change this up a little bit, so we're just going to skip command. Okay, we're just going to name this to skip from leave, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of all this. Okay, so the skip command is a little bit tricky because it just really depends on how you want to implement it, but a lot of people like to have some kind of voting system where whenever someone tries to use the skip command, it's going to basically allow people to vote, and based on that number of votes, it's going to skip the song. So what we're going to do is first we need to check to see if the player actually exists. We always need to check to see if it exists. So const player equals client.music.players.gets, and we're going to do message.guild ID. Now I might actually need this guild ID, so I'll probably just do const guild ID equals message. Okay, so now we're going to check to see if the player is a truthy value. Now if the player is a truthy value, that means that the player actually exists. Okay, there's currently a player that has been spawned or was spawned. We're going to go ahead and check to see if the person who issued this command is actually in a voice channel. So we're going to use object destructuring to get the voice channel from message.member.voice. Okay, and we'll also keep track of who actually just used the skip command, just to prevent people from actually using the command over and over again. Okay, because right now if we were to use the skip command, we would be able to use it as many times as we want. So we have to keep some kind of a tracker on it. So we'll use like a Boolean value later. So now we're going to check to see if channel actually exists. Okay, well actually let me do this. If the person that's trying to use the skip command, let's make sure that player and channel actually exists, because like I said, if they're not in a voice channel, they shouldn't be able to use that command, and if they're in the wrong channel, then they also shouldn't be able to use that command. So if player.voice channel.id is equal to channel.id, okay, if that's true, then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and check to see a couple things. Okay, first we're going to have to get the voice members, the members that are in the voice channel. And to do that, this isn't really super crazy. We're going to go ahead and do const members equals and channel. So the voice channel itself has a property called members. Now this is a collection, and we want to get all of the members that are not bots. So we're going to filter out every single member. So we're going to use the filter method on the collection. Okay, remember, members is a collection. We're going to call filter, and we're going to pass in a callback function, and this callback function is going to take in one parameter. So we're going to call it m, and that corresponds to the current member that is being processed in the filter. Okay, so we want to check to see if m.user.bot, well, we're trying to see if they're not a bot. We're just going to check to see if this is true, and if this is true, it's going to return m, which is member, into a new collection called members right over there. So that's how the filter function works. And if I were to log this to the console, if I were to log the size at least, because this is a whole collection, so let me go inside music and let's have the bot join. Now if I do skip, you're gonna see it's gonna say 1. If I change this filter, okay, if I change that filter, if I had the bot use the command, or if I use the command, it's gonna say 2. So now we're gonna go ahead and check to see the total amount of votes that are required. Okay, so like I said, we want some kind of voting system, because obviously you don't want someone to just be able to use the command and ruin the entire queue for everyone else. So you want some kind of voting system. Now this voting system is subjective. It's really just dependent on how you want to implement it. Some people prefer having, a majority vote of 80%, or a majority people voting in 90%, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of things. One, we're going to use the percentage as 0.5. We'll do 50% for now, or 60. Okay, so we'll do const votes required equals. We're going to go and do math.ceiling. So math.ceil. So this is going to round the number up. Okay, so members.size is going to, members.size is going to multiply by percentage. So some kind of percentage. We'll do 60%. Whoops. So now if we look over here, members.size in our case is going to be 1. If we multiply this by 6, it's going to be a decimal. It's going to be a floating point. When we round it up, it's going to give us 1. We're going to have to check to see if the votes required is equal to 1. Because if the votes required is equal to 1, that means that there's only one person in the voice channel. If members.size was currently 2, so there's 2 people in the voice channel. If we multiply that by 6, this is if we round it up, it's going to give us 2. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to check if members.size is equal to 1. And if it is, we're just going to skip the queue. Yeah, that's it. We're just going to skip the queue. So to do that, we call player.stop. Okay, that's going to stop the current song and then play the next song in the queue if there is one. And if there are no songs in the queue, then it's just going to end the queue. And we can also just create an embed message, but we're not going to do that for now. We'll just do simple message channel send, and we'll just go ahead and say skipping, and then we'll just log the or not log, but send the actual track that's being played. So if you want to send the actual track, you can do player.q at subscript 0, because q itself is an array, and it's an array of tracks, so we can reference the title. Now if the members.size is greater than 1, then what we're going to do is we're going to actually need a voting system. So I think maybe what I'll do is I'll move this stuff down right over inside this else case. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to create some kind of reaction collector. Well, we don't have to actually use a reaction collector. We're going to use await reactions, but it's going to listen to reactions on a particular message. And once we have reached the required amount of votes, it's going to skip. Okay, so first let's just go ahead and do this. So if we're skipping, we're going to go ahead and create a new embed message. So I'll do this. Const. Let's import message embed from the Discord.js module. Okay, so we're requiring it. Also known as importing. Const embed equals new message embed. And we'll do a simple set description. We'll just say total votes required. Total votes required to skip, and we'll just use string interpolation to log votes required. Okay, all right, cool. That should be pretty straightforward, and we're just going to send this message to the channel, but we're also going to get the message back, because this is the message itself that we want people to react to. So we're going to await message.channel.send. When you await the .send method, okay, we're going to get the actual value, the message itself that was sent by the bot. So we're going to send the embed message. Okay, there we go. So that itself should send the embed message. And we're just going to go ahead and react to the message itself. So message.react. And don't worry, I'm going to test this out in just 1 sec. Thumbs up. Okay, and let's go ahead and just get the thumbs down. Okay, so these are going to be our emojis that we're using for voting. Okay, so right now, let's just do a quick recap before we even move forward, because there's a lot that's going on. Okay, so from the beginning, we're checking to see if the player exists, and we're checking to see if the channel, if the member that used the command is in the channel. Okay, so if this is true, remember both of these need to be a truthy value, then we're going to go inside this if case over here. We're going to go inside line number 15. We're checking to see if the ID of the voice channel of the player is the same as the voice channel that the member is in when they currently use the command. If it is, then we're going to execute all of this stuff over here. We're getting the total amount of members, okay, in the voice channel. In this case, the member size is going to be 1, so it's just going to stop the entire queue, or it's going to stop the current song. It's just going to skip to the next one. Now, if the member size is greater than 1, then it's going to go inside this else case. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Let me go ahead and have the bot join. So we're going to play a song, we're going to add that to the queue. So now the song is going to play. Okay, you guys can't hear it because it's muted, but now watch this. If I do skip, notice how it's saying skipping? It's skipping the current track, and it says queue has ended because there are no songs left to be played. If I were to try this again, okay, let's have the bot play. Let's load up that track. Let's do the same thing again, but this time for maybe a different song. So it's going to say added cartoon howling to queue. Okay, so now if I do skip, it's going to skip the queue. Skipping Electronomia Limitless. Now playing cartoon howling, okay? And you can see that the green circle is on there, and it's playing audio, okay? So that's pretty much how the whole skip thing works, because right now we only have 1 member in the voice channel, excluding the bot. So since there's only 1 member, that means that they should be able to freely skip without having to vote. All right, so what if there were more than 1 person in this channel? Okay, so what we're gonna have to do is let me join on my other account. Okay, so my other account is in this channel right now. Now we're gonna have the bot join the voice channel because I just restarted my bot. We're gonna play let's see, limitless electro. Okay, so now watch this. If I try to skip, it's going to go ahead and say total votes required to skip 2. All right, so now you can see that it should have reacted, okay, which is good. And now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to actually listen to the reactions on this message over here. Not the other message that we sent, but this message that the bot itself just sent. The one with the embed message. So what we're going to do is we're going to declare a variable called reactions, and we're going to await message.await reactions. And we're going to have a very, very crazy filter. It's not going to be super crazy, but it's going to be responsible for checking to make sure that the user itself who's reacting is in the voice channel. We want to make sure that they are reacting. The person that's reacting is in the same voice channel as the player. We also want to make sure that their emoji is correct as well. So there are a couple checks, but let's go ahead and first declare the filter. So this filter is going to take in two parameters. Okay, it's just a arrow function, so reaction as well as user. And what we want to do is we want to check to see if the member is actually in the same voice channel. So we're going to get the member itself. So we're going to do const member message.guild.members.cache.get user.id. Okay, and like I said, because we are using reactions, we can't just do the same thing we did up here and did message.member.voice. Okay, remember that only corresponds to people who are in the voice channel, and that only corresponds to also when they use the command. This time we're using reactions. So we're going to get the member using the message.guild.members.cache property. Remember the cache itself in version 12. Okay, if you're in version 11, it's message.guild.members.get. In version 12, it's message.guild.members.cache.get. And we're going to get the user, we're going to get the member by their ID. And then what you want to do is you want to check to see if they're actually in the voice channel. Okay, so actually instead of doing this, I'll use object destructuring. So we're going to do .get, and then we're going to do .voice, and we're going to check to see if they're in a channel. So if they are not in a channel, we're going to return false. We're then going to need to check to make sure that they are in the same voice channel as the player. So if channel is a truthy value, okay, we're going to go into line 31, this if statement over here. We're going to check to see if channel.id is equal to player the voice channel.id. Kind of like the same thing that we're doing up there, because like I said, if we don't do this check, someone else who's not in the voice channel can add the reaction and affect the queue. So if the IDs are the same, then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and check to see if the emoji names are the same. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to say return. And I'm going to go ahead and just copy this emoji, put that in an array. And I'm going to call the .includes method. And we're going to check to see if reaction.emoji.name is inside this array. And that should be pretty much it for our check. And we can also check to make sure that the user is on a bot. So this is going to return true or false. So let's do this. If user.bot return false. So this is a really crazy filter. If this is false, we're just going to return false. And I can also use a bunch of ternary operators. But we'll just leave it like this for now. We'll fix it up later on. We'll just pass in that filter and we'll do max. Not sure why it's not picking it up. We're going to have to do max. And we're going to set that to votes required. So we're going to need 2 reactions. Okay, and I think this might actually have the bot's reactions. I'm not sure because I have used await reactions before, and for some reason it always included the bot's reactions. We're going to have to check. So let's do this. Let's do console log, and let's go ahead and get the bot to join. So I'm going to play a song. Okay, so now if I do skip, it reacted once. So we're going to react. Now my other account react as well. Okay, so see how it, okay, see collection map. We now have count of size 3, which is not good. Okay, because it is considering the bot's reaction. Okay, now we can actually filter this out. We can just go through the users collection or the users reaction user manager and filter out all of the reactions that are made by bots, and we can just get all of the reactions that are made by users. Obviously, we could subtract 1, but what if there are 2 bots in the voice channel? Very unlikely, but again, you have to account for that case. So reactions.get, we're going to get this particular emoji. Remember, it's mapped by the emoji name. So we're going to get that reaction, and we're going to go ahead and reference users, or wait, reaction.get, and then what was the property called again? So we're going to do reactions.get and then the thumbs up emoji users, and this is the reaction user manager. We're going to go ahead and call the cache, and we're going to call filter. For every user, we're just going to return every user that is not a bot. Okay, now if we do total votes, I'm not sure. I think this is going to return, yeah, all of the users. Okay, so if I do total votes.size, this should go ahead and say 2. Okay, so now it's playing the song. Now if I do skip, okay, so now if I go ahead and react, If I react, there we go, 2, perfect. All right, so now we don't have before it was 3, now we're getting 2. So now, once all of this is done, once the reactions are finished, right? Once we've received our total votes, notice how this reaction stops listening, this await reactions. Once it receives the max amount of votes or max amount of reactions that pass this filter, then it's gonna complete and it's going to return the collection of reactions. Okay, and then we're getting the particular reaction that we want, and we're filtering out the ones that are not by bots. Now, what if we let's try this. What if we had the bot join? Okay, let's just have them play Electronomia Limitless. And what I did 1. Now, what if I left the voice channel? Now, if I try to use skip, that shouldn't really trigger anything. Okay, but what if my other account tried to skip? Okay, so that works. Okay, so notice how right now it just skipped the entire queue because the user was the only person in the voice channel. But like I said, this whole filter is going to make sure that they're in the correct voice channel. And it's going to also make sure that they're reacting with the correct emoji. Okay, if I have the bot join again, or let's do play Trinomia Limitless into 1. Now if I do skip, now if I react with thumbs down, it's not going to do... It should actually, Oh, I see, wait. You know what we're going to do? We're actually going to get rid of this. Okay, because we haven't accounted for the case for the thumbs down yet, so we're only going to care for the thumbs up. We did get 2 votes though. Awesome. Okay, so the reason why I threw this error was because we reacted 2 times with thumbs down, and we were trying to get the emoji with the thumbs up, but since that itself was not in the map, it's saying cannot read players of undefined. Well, that's right over... Oh, that's for end. Oh, okay, never mind. That's a different error. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and continue. So now, if the total votes is greater than or equal to votes required, then that means that the people in the voice channel voted to skip the song. That's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do player.stop. That's going to skip. So let's try this out right now. Let me go ahead and get the song over here. Okay, so we're going to load up 1. Then I'm going to do skip. So let's react once. Let's actually load up another song. Okay, there we go. And now, right over here, if I do skip... Oh wait, let me react to the other one. React to the other message. That should have skipped, but for some reason it didn't. Not sure why it didn't skip. Let's try this again. So let's react. And let's react. Hold on, did I do something wrong? Oh, whoops. Total votes.size. Sorry. Total votes.size. Okay, that was an epic fail. Alright, so, because remember, total votes is a collection of the users. We want the size, okay? Let's join. Let's play. Let's do that. Let's load up another track. Let's do cartoon howling. Okay, and I'll unmute my audio. Okay, so you can hear it right now. You can hear the music. For those who didn't believe me, you can hear the music right over here. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and load up 1. So howling. I don't know why that didn't say. Oh, we probably ran out of time. Try again. Cartoon howling. Oh god. Hopefully the score doesn't go down. Okay, there we go. I thought okay, it was lagging a little bit, but let's load up 1. Okay, so now if I do skip, let's skip the queue. So we're gonna do skip. Skip. There we go. Skips to the next song. And now you can hear it's playing the next song. Okay, so now what we want to do is make sure that the command cannot be used if it's already been invoked already. So we're going to create a global variable, call it flag, set this to false, or let's just call it used actually. So we'll do used. And so if members.size is equal to 1, we don't really need to worry so much about it, because if they're the only person in the channel, then we'll let them use the command as much as they want. So inside this else case, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of all this. We're going to check to see if the command was not used. So we'll do not used. So if that's true, then we're going to go ahead and set used to true. This means that they cannot use the command. So if I go over to, let's see, if I go over here and if I do join, okay, let me actually do an else case right over here. So else we'll do message.channel send. Command cannot be used at the moment. Okay, so if not used, then we're gonna execute everything in here. But if it is used, then we're gonna go ahead and send a message. So let's get the bot to join. Okay, if I try to do skip, so it's gonna work the first time. If I try to do it again, it's gonna say command cannot be used at the moment. Perfect. All right, so that's good. So now inside here, over on line 44, if you guys can see where we are awaiting the reactions, we're gonna go ahead and simply wrap this inside a try catch, because what we're going to do is we're going to add another property inside the max or not inside the reaction options over here. We're going to add time and give them, for now we'll just give them 10 seconds just for testing purposes, and we're going to add the errors, and we're going to say, hey look, if you run out of time, we're going to throw an error. So it's going to go down over here. So if an error happens, so again, if they run out of time, we're going to go ahead and let the users use the command again. So we'll set use to false. Okay, and if the skip is successful, if the amount of votes is received, we'll set use back to false. Okay, so let's try this out. So let's go ahead and use join, play Electronomia Limitless. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and load up track 1. So now it's playing the song. Okay, let's cue another song. Let's do okay, so let's cue that song. Okay, so now if I try to do skip, let's just wait 10 seconds. If I try to use it again right now, it's going to say cannot use command. Okay, but in about 5 more seconds, it should throw an error, waiting for it. Okay, there we go. See how it says collection map? Perfect. So now I can use the skip command again. And if I do thumbs up, and then if I do thumbs up again, it's going to skip the command. So adding this variable, the used variable over here, allows us to prevent people from using the skip command whenever there's a vote in progress. And that's pretty much it for this entire video. Like, I know it took like a very long time, but we're finally done. Yeah, I think that is pretty much it for this video. The code, like I said, will be on GitHub, so feel free to check it out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.